Hi, second grade. Welcome to our math lesson for today. The materials that you are going to need are your Apprentice Task worksheet. It's called Why Does It Work? And something to write with. All right, let's get started. So on our Apprentice Task today, one of the things that you are going to have to do is show a diagram that demonstrates the thinking of this student. So before we go over how to do the Apprentice Task, I want to review with you some different ways that you can draw diagrams in math. Okay, so here you can see I have an anchor chart for you that says drawing math diagrams. All right, I'm going to go over a few of these with you. I used this equation up here as my example. It's different than the one that we're going to look at on the Apprentice Task, but it says 39 plus 74. We have a 3 in the tens, a 7 in the tens, a 9 in the ones, and a 4 in the ones. So the first way that you might choose to make a diagram of this equation could look like this. Here we have our base tens, or our sticks and dots. So I made a little chart. I labeled it HTO for hundreds, tens, and ones. As you can see here, I drew the tens and okay. So one strategy that you could use is base tens, sticks and dots. I drew a hundreds, tens, and ones chart here. I drew the 39 in orange, so I have 1, 2, 3 tens and 9 ones. And then I drew the 74 in purple, 7 tens, 4 ones. After that, I counted them up to see how many I had all together. I noticed that I could regroup. Remember that 10 tens equals 100. So I counted up the tens here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I regrouped them to make a new 100. Then I looked over here at the ones, and I noticed that I had more than 10 ones. And remember, 10 ones equals 110. So I counted out 10 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I regrouped them to make a 10. So now I'm left with 100, 110, and 3 ones, which I wrote right here. 100, 110, and 3 ones, or 113. This is one example of drawing a math diagram. Over here I have another example of how you could draw a math diagram using number bonds. Now, number bonds are these circles that look like this. And you can see here I did the tens in red and the ones in blue. So I wrote 39 and 74, and I circled them. Then I separated those numbers out into tens and ones. You can see the tens are red and the ones are blue. So I have 30 and 9, and then I have 70 and 4. I added the 30 and the 70 to get 100. Then I added the 9 and the 4 to get 13. Then I added the 100 plus 13, and that gives me 113. Another strategy that you could use is expanded form. So right here I have the expanded form diagram. So for 39 plus 74, I wrote 30 plus 9 and 70 plus 4. I stretched those numbers out, right? And then I did my hundreds with my hundreds. 70 plus 30 gives me 100. And my 9 with my 4. 9 plus 4 equals 13, right? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There are also other number strategies that you could use. I put one example here where I kind of just wrote the numbers. I wrote 39 and 74, and then I thought about it as 70 plus 30 equals 100, 9 plus 4 equals 13, and then I added everything together. You might notice that some of these are starting to sound similar because we're really just making sure that we're connecting the tens with the tens and the ones with the ones. The last example I have down here at the bottom is a number line. So on my number line, I first labeled it just counting by tens to 110. So I 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110. Then I put my number that we started with, right? Our start is 39. So right here in orange, I have a 39. Then I needed to add 7 tens. So I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 39 plus 7 tens, or plus 70, puts me at 109. But we can't forget about these 4 ones, right? So after I got to 109, I, in blue here, added the 4 ones that are left over, and I went 109, 110, 111, 112, 113. And 113 is 39 plus 74. There are definitely other strategies that you could use, like number stacking and other ways that you could think about the numbers in your head. But this is just a list of examples that will be helpful for our apprentice task today. So let's go over the assignment. Okay, so this is what your apprentice task looks like for today. It's called, Why Does It Work? Up here at the top it says, Maria said, I can solve 47 plus 65. She solved it like this. So we have 47 plus 65 equals 100 plus 12, which equals 112. So the next step here says, draw a diagram to show Maria's thinking. So up here, she sort of showed one of those examples I talked about. I don't want you to rewrite what she wrote. I want you to show me using one of the diagrams from the anchor chart I showed you today. You get to choose which one you would like to use, okay? I'll be sure to attach a picture of the anchor chart in the assignment so you can refer to it while you're working independently. So you're going to draw a diagram to show her thinking up here. Then at the bottom it says, explain her strategy and why it works. So for her explaining her strategy, you don't have to draw another diagram. You look at this strategy up here. This is her strategy. So down here, you're not doing another diagram. You're explaining why her strategy works. So a sentence starter that could get you going on answering this question might look like this.
Maria's strategy works because,
or
I know her strategy makes sense because.
Okay, so for this assignment, all you have to do is show me a strategy for this thinking. 47 plus 65 equals 100 plus 12, which equals 112. She could have also written that like this, just to make it easier for you to see. Okay. So you're gonna draw a diagram, think about that anchor chart that I reviewed with you. Then you're going to explain her strategy and why it works. Okay, boys and girls, that's all that you have to do today for our math workshop. This worksheet only has 2 questions that you have to answer. And when you're done, please make sure that you add an attachment of your work to your Google Classroom. Before you mark as done, you need to add an attachment so that your teacher can check over your work. Remember to draw a diagram here and use your words to explain down here. All right, boys and girls, good luck. Remember, 10s with 10s, 1s with 1s, and 100s with 100s. Bye.